Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by. My name is Stone Rain Productions, but please feel free to call me SRP if you'd like. And today I'm trying out a new leader, and I'm also trying out a new mic, so if you guys don't mind, just I guess let me know if you think the mic sounds better, worse, the same, slightly different, whatever the case may be. It will definitely help me out. Just trying to get people's opinions here. And yeah, I've titled this thing a little strangely. It is both an aggressive deck and it's also kind of controlling at the same time. So let's take a look at this. Like we always do, we'll just start off from the beginning. We'll look at our leader and all the card choices. Before we dive in, the whole like and subscribe thing, I'm sure you've heard this before. I'm not super pushy with it. If you want to, please feel free to do. If not, no problem. I understand. It definitely helps me. So if you would like to, thanks so much. Definitely do appreciate that. Now let's dive in here and take a look. Now, if you have not seen this leader yet, this is definitely one of my favorites from A Lawless Time so far. Aurra Sing is Vigilance Villainy, and she has an action where you can exhaust her and defeat a non-leader unit with one or less remaining hit points. So this can't just take out some of our opponent's plays right off the bat. Anything that comes into play with 1 HP, it can be, we can exhaust Aurra and just defeat it. It's really, really, really powerful. And I like her flip side as well. Her flip side, she's a little late to deploy, so it's 7, but she has the ability, her stats are 3/7, Underworld Bounty Hunter, 7 cost. When deployed, you may defeat a non-leader unit with 5 or less remaining hit points. So it's pretty good. It can take something out. It's kind of Yoda-esque in that way. It's certainly not nearly as good as Yoda, but it's definitely pretty effective. And we're trying to make the most out of this front side. I strongly believe the best side, or the best aspect combination with her to pair this with, is with aggression. I think red is definitely the best, but I really think that there's something here with this command version. I have not been able to play any games because she's not coded yet into the online things that you can play today, and I believe that's just because Aurra just came out and she hasn't been coded or whatever the case. But yeah, it's throwing an error when I try to play her. And we're going to pair her with the green Jedi Temple base. I was really thinking about using the other one, but this is a very, very grindy deck. By the other one, I mean the 25 hit point base, where you can just get the Force 3 times. This is very grindy. We don't really have a big finisher per se, and that's really the only downside. And I'm hoping that we get something in these color combinations, specifically Vigilance Command, because I don't think that there has been a lot of big reveals yet for this, or anything in Villainy for that matter. But let's go over and take a look, and I'll explain my choices. I honestly think that Vigilance Command has some of the best cards as far as non-heroism, non-villainy cards, and I just kind of wanted to go over why I'm picking certain things here. I believe we've got a total of 40 units with this list here. Give me just a sec. I'm going to pull up my list. We've got 33 ground units here. Okay, so it's not necessarily the craziest thing, but we're really trying to be as grindy as we can. I did have a sideboard, but I removed it just because I had too many things and I was subbing things in. At one point I had a Data Vault version and I just didn't want it to get confusing, so I just took it all out for now. So what are we starting with? I've got 3 copies of Corrupt Politician, which is not a Force unit, which doesn't really pair with our base. We've got a couple of early units that I wanted to leave in because they're pretty powerful, and we have enough Force units where we can overcome this anyway. Corrupt Politician is just a 1-cost 2/2 that has Sentinel if we control more units than our opponent. Most likely, since we are a very grindy deck, this is almost always going to be a Sentinel, especially with Aura's ability and some of the other cards that we've got. I've also got 3 copies of Han Solo, 1 cost 1/1 shielded. on attack, give an experience token to this unit. We're hoping that this thing just gets really big. Ideally, it'd be really cool if we did a Han and a corrupt politician on turn 1. That'd be pretty great, but we're not really advancing our Force game that way. It just works well if we get both of them, then we can just pivot and do something with the Force after that. I am running 2 copies of emergency powers. This is kind of like a pseudo finisher for the deck. We do have some higher end stuff later. We'll go over it. But this is just kind of a backup, build your own threat at the end of the game. If we can get this onto something like a Han, it can get really out of hand because it'll just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So something to consider. It's really last resort, but we can just buff up one of our units with this and make it really big. It's a 1-cost event in Vigilance Villainy, and it says choose a non-leader unit and pay any number of resources. For each resource paid in this way, give an experience token to the chosen unit. Just an easy way to get something really big. And the grindy matchups, I think this makes a big, big difference. We have 3 copies of Karis getting into our Force units here. 2 cost 2/4, and it has, when defeated, you may use the Force. If you do, give a unit -2/-2 for this phase, which works perfectly with our Aurra Sing ability here. Being able to defeat something that has 1 remaining hit. It says 1 hit point or less on the front of the card. So if there's somehow a way that you can have, I guess a Caskian could do that, where if there's no hit points left, it doesn't die if you got the initiative. Just thinking it through here. Anyway, -2/-2. If we can get something down to 1 hit point, we can combo that with our Aurra Sing and finish it off. Plus, it's a 2/4. It's pretty good. I did put in 2 copies of Night Sister Warrior as well. It's a Force unit, and when it's defeated, we get to draw a card. It's not really a big downside to it, other than it's really frail. 2 cost 2/2s aren't the best. It's okay because it replaces itself, and I had to trim somewhere, so I ended up cutting one of these because it's our least impactful early play. We've got our Secret of Sage, 2 cost 2/2 shielded. Just got the Force tag. It's just a fantastic card overall. I believe that there's, let's count, 3, 6, 8. We've got 11 turn 1 plays here that are Force related in the deck. And then we've got another 6 on top of that are not Force related. So we absolutely should be able to play something on turn 1. And if we don't draw something, that's pretty weird. Anyway, the final 2-drop is the Treyas Acolyte. It's just a 2 cost 2/4 if it's vanilla, but it's a Force unit, so we can trigger our Force base. Now, I'm running 3 copies of Death Trooper because this pairs so well with our Aurra Sing leader. When this comes in, we can deal 2 damage to this, and then 2 damage to a ground unit, and then hopefully just finish it off with Aurra. It's just good, and even late game, it's good. If something is really close to death, we can play this, get it close enough where we can ping with Aurra, and then just finish it off. I've been waiting to put together a deck with Lat's Razzie, because this card is just really, really good. I can't wait to play with this in paper because it just looks great. It's not a Force unit. It is a Underworld Bounty Hunter, and I know we've got a bunch of different types here, but the core of our list is definitely Force, and we should be okay. But Lat's Razzie is a Vigilance and Command card, 3 cost 2/1. When played, give a shield token or an experience unit token to this unit. Then she deals damage equal to her power to an enemy ground unit. So this is just a good way for us to give her an experience if it's needed, and then shoot something with her to hopefully defeat it. If not, we can finish it off with Aurra, or we can give her a shield. It's just a solid unit for sure. Knowledge and Defense, kind of along the same theme. We want to diminish the power of our opposing units. This gives a unit -2/-2. It draws a card, and then hopefully we can just finish something off with Aurra. I'm really thinking that we should absolutely have the advantage over other unit-based decks with this. We're super, super grindy. The thing that we're giving up is that we don't really have a finisher per se. Chirrut is so difficult to get through. Just had to put him in here. 4 cost 3/5 with Sentinel. And when this unit is attacked, you may use the Force. If you do, the attacker gets -2, -0 for this attack. It's just very difficult to get rid of. We've got so many effects where we can just make things smaller, deal damage, or lats, Death Trooper, Knowledge and Defense, stuff like that. Where hopefully what we'll do is we'll make it -2, -0 the attacker, and then finish it off with Aurra afterwards. It's just a nightmare for everybody to get through all this stuff. Speaking of the difficult to get through Talzin's Assassin, if it doesn't finish something, we can finish it off with our Aurra Sing, because we're going to give something -3, -3 by using the Force when we play it. 4 cost 4/4 Vigilance Villainy. It does have the Force tag as well. So, I mean, there's not a big downside. We're getting a 4/4. We're giving something -3, -3. And even if it doesn't finish off the unit, we can Aurra Sing and defeat it. I've got 2 copies of No Glory only results in here. I really ideally want to prefer to stay as many units as possible, but I really think that some of these cards are going to be necessary, unfortunately. There are some more ambush cards, and I think ambush really would be a big help in here. But I just didn't think that there was enough. Speaking of that, I forgot one of the ambush cards, Darth Tyrannus. For some reason we skipped over it, but 4 cost, 4/3 in Villainy, shielded, and while we have the Force, this unit gains ambush. So it's a good middle ground here. Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know what happened. I just skipped over it there. I'm trying 3 copies of this Nothing Left to Fear card, Vigilance and Command. It's an event for 5, and it's kind of like Overwhelming Barrage from set 1, but obviously not as good. This says choose a friendly unit and give it +2/+2 for this phase. Then you may defeat a non-leader unit with power equal to or less than the units, or less than the chosen units. So it's just a good way to defeat something and temporarily buff something for this phase. It's a good card, so it's certainly worth trying. It's very similar to our next card, Craving Power, except I think Craving Power is better. It's a 5 cost upgrade that gives our unit +2/+2. Attached to a friendly unit. When played, deal damage to an enemy unit equal to the attached unit's power. So it buffs our unit and it finishes something off. Like I said, we're very, very grindy between these two. And we've got a couple of removal options as well in events. I think that this deck is just going to be really crazy, very difficult to deal with. But it's going to be tough to finish people off. Getting to the end here, closer to where our finishers are going to be. Eighth Brother, I really wouldn't call this a finisher. It's more of an ambusher. 6 cost, 5/7, and Command Villainy, ambush. When you play another unit, you may use the Force. If you do, give a unit +2/+2 for this phase. So it's a good card. I really wouldn't call this a finisher. I've got one other card in here that I think is pretty much like the pseudo finisher for here, but we'll get to that in a moment. I'm doing 2 copies of Lost and Forgotten. I think that we could probably take this out and put in another unit if we wanted to. But right now, I really like the fact that this swings the race in our favor in an event. So it defeats a troublesome unit. It can be massive, it can be small, whatever's giving us a headache. And it's also restoring some health to our base. So that's the reason why I'm deciding to go with this. I really like this card a lot, and I'm going to be playing this in the aggression version of Aurra as well, too. But I want to make a hard control list with her and see what that looks like. And lastly, the card that I am using as our finisher currently is 2 copies of Lawbringer. It's an 8 cost 7/7 in Vigilance and Villainy. It's Imperial Vehicle Capital Ship, and when played on attack, choose an aspect, give each enemy unit with that aspect -2/-2 for this phase. And the reason why I'm picking that is because, again, Aurra Sing's ability. We've got this theme where we're going for, with Death Troopers dealing damage, but we've got a lot of negative power and toughness. I did need to put Anakin in here So if you wanted to cut out the Lost and Forgotten and put in 2 copies of Anakin or 3 copies of Anakin, by all means feel free to do so. I just really, in this combination of colors, I didn't want to find a heroism card to disrupt the flow, but just because we're trying to put away the game with cards that I'm not sure if we're going to be able to finish the game with. We can be extremely grind. The games are going to probably go very long with this deck, I'm guessing, anyway. So if we could find a way to put a good heroism card in here, by all means, I would absolutely run the Anakin, probably over the Lost and Forgotten. But because we're not able to get that heroism in here, and I don't want to play so optimally just because this deck's so grindy, that's the reason why I have not included it in here. But that's my reasoning on it. By all means, if it's something that you want to play and you want to run it just for the -3, absolutely feel free to make that change. Or, if it's not that, if you want to do it over something else, please do. I was considering the 8-cost Emperor Palpatine as well. That gave all non-Sith units -3, I believe is what it does. But I believe, only got 2 Sith units in here. The Darth Tyrannus and Treyas Acolyte. Yeah, Treyas Acolyte. So we're probably going to be wiping out most of our board if we play that in here, which could be completely worth it. It could be a good finisher as well, too. But I think that's probably going to be better suited for the sideboard, personally. As I said, I haven't had a chance to play with this yet. It's the online stuff. This leader's not available as of recording of this, so I have not had a chance. This is all basically theory crafting. And yeah, that's the deck. I hope that you guys really like this. Also, please, if you don't mind, let me know how the audio is, if it's better or worse, about the same. Like I said, I got this new mic. I'll just show you. This is it right here. It's the Quad something or other. HyperX Quadcast is the name of it. If it does sound good and you're interested, you want to get something, that's what I'm using here. But yeah, anyway, that's the deck. Hope that you guys enjoy it. Please feel free to try it out. Like I said, as of recording this, I'm not able to play it. And I really would love your opinions on this. Love to see what you guys think. Thanks so much for stopping by, everybody. Thanks again for the positive comments, the support, all that stuff means a lot to me. Whoa. Jeez. You just slapped my microphone. Anyway, may the force be with you, my friends. I hope everything is going well in your life. Take care.